So how are we supposed to raise and crowd raise fun? Crowd raise more fun. Crowd raise more fun. And develop production molecules. Develop production molecules throughout the world. Stay till the end to find out. Stay till the end to find out how we're trying to do both of those things at the same time. So we're trying to crowd raise fun, crowd fundraise, crowd fundraise, meaning raise the fun as opposed to raise funds, as opposed to crowdfunding. We're trying to raise fun. We're trying to raise fun. Raise fun as opposed to crowdfunding. We're trying to raise fun, crowd fun, raising, if that makes sense. And at the same time, we're trying to focus on developing production molecules. So, as we've spoken about, trying to develop like a global brokerage a little bit in the past, trying to combine the essence and the mindset of, like, for example, selling real estate, for example, combined with the essence of the film industry and the essence of production deals, the essence of conceptual production deals, and developing production molecules in essence. Production molecules. So that's also how we're trying to raise fun and crowd fun raise, in essence, in the future, as a brokerage, as Dink Tech Change for Games. The brokerage! Yes, yesterday we were talking about making cars, for example. So those are trade lines. Any given business potential, any given business conceptualization corresponds to a trade line, in essence. That means that could be any type of business that could conceptually yield any type of an asset result, if you will. That's the purpose of a trade line, is to conceptualize and organize and develop an energy that in essence has a trajectory to become an asset energy, to become something that develops escape velocity, in essence, as Alex Hormozy earlier today I heard him say, to develop escape velocity from your own key risk of a business, in essence, meaning to fundamentally take an owner out of themselves from a business, for example, is one process that is done by developing escape velocity. And escape velocity is done by developing enough frequency or energy, or asset energy from a business process that corresponds to something that is similarly related to production molecules, conceptually and conceivably aligning with the interest to develop the mindset that relates to production molecules. Production molecules are meant to be a symbol for any given trade line, for example, but we're trying to focus in essence on real estate, as I mentioned in the last couple episodes, because in essence there is like a distribution outlet, a media distribution outlet that kind of corresponds to the essence of real estate. So it's not like we're trying to disrupt the real estate market, for example, but it's kind of like we're just trying to shift the film industry over to the real estate market a little bit, so that in essence that essence of distribution and those essences of outlets to be able to get media content to different people that want to buy assets, for example, is a different way to distribute and go about trying to distribute this crowd-raising fund. This crowd fundraising process, in essence, whereas we're trying to also develop a process where philanthropy energy is something that is more fun, and developing more philanthropy is more fun. And that's what we're trying to crowd fundraise, if you will, by developing productions and production deals and production processes that on the front end are meant to like be less labor intensive on the front end, or maybe what I meant to say is speaking to equity on the back end, to be able to develop results on the back end and develop results and make it like a game on the front end, so that just by playing a game on the front end, you can get to the back end and be able to develop not only philanthropy and philanthropy energy and make it fun and have a fun and interesting process in the process, but at the same time, you can get paid at the same time on the back end more than you would get paid on the front end. But at the same time, if you were just going to do that thing that was for fun, for example, like a protest, for example, you might want to do a protest for fun if you really believe in something truly, but nobody's going to pay you typically or technically for it if you are going to voice your opinion a certain way, so to speak. Whereas in our production molecules, if you will, we want to try to design the process so that in essence we've got the mindset to be able to compensate people on the back end if things work out. And that's sort of the production molecule essence, if you will. It's like the production of a movie, sort of a molecule that it takes to produce a movie. Like people have to come together, develop a production, and then they leave. It's similar to producing a commercial or producing a TV show or producing a music video. And producing music videos is, in essence, one of the things that we want to try to focus some of our efforts on. Ultimately, in addition, like Also, I've mentioned a couple nights ago, like comedy musicals, if you will, like comedy musical, like comedies, in other words, live sketch comedies with like an essence of surreptitious, like developments of triangulated flash mob energy in the background, if you will, like that are coinciding with a music performance that in essence is like a collaborative music performance, if you will, because it's many different variations of music coming together in varieties of ways that in essence are things that we want to speak to in terms of developing production molecules to get to the backside of that, which is in essence having fun on the front end to get to philanthropy energy on the back. And so we're just trying to develop these production molecules like slightly and slowly and subtly initially to try to get to an essence of scaling the essence of that production molecule mindset, if you will. So that production molecule mindset has its own relevance for developing new games. It's its own trajectory. It's its own perpetual energy to develop new games organically through the essence of the interest of solving problems on the back end and developing challenging of people to try to, develop games in essence, like coming up with games, and then also conceptual production molecules similar to a movie that has the potential backside, potential resolve that can equal something to equate to monetary reward potentially at the backside, and then ideally like a business to be able to grow from that, similar to a production of a movie, for example, because those have residuals, they have royalties on the backside in terms of compensation in varying ways and such things. I call other aspects of like merchandising that, like, for example, if like a movie is a franchise, for example, that like there's e-commerce, toys and tools and like small, awareness items that can be manufactured to be able to bring more awareness to the brand, but at the same time they're interesting tools and toys that can be bought online and sold to people and sent to people on the internet, for example. So those are other residual income elements that can resolve from the essence of developing production molecules on the front end. But ultimately, after all, as Think Tank Change for Games Studios is about the good deeds economy, developing the good deeds economy, if you will. So the ultimate goal is to try to have the widest spread impact, if you will, in the world, to just try to connect the essence of media, of fun, of comedy, in essence sketch comedy, to develop that mindset with the essence of surreptitious, if you will, alignment with like philanthropy energy, developing flash mobs that correspond to global impact, if you will. So that's how we want to try to like hedge our production molecule processes, if you will, to like more cities in the world that are possible than less. So we can try to reach every single country after all, and have at least one office in every single country after all, and have like conceptual ways to be able to try to connect with people in a fundamental level, even if it's interviews on the street, connecting fundamentally, foundationally, slow and fast and such things, to be able to scale to the world is something significant, because it's ultimately like something where you're not even necessarily capable of speaking to everybody within a given process if you are successful in growing out a given specific brand and a specific brand process to try to speak to the essence of that scale potential, if you will. So like it's a little bit peculiar just to try to develop a like production process that speaks to the essence of the molecule, similar to a cellular structure, to be able to try to branch out and then eventually weave into elements of societal action taking that corresponds to things that in essence relate to production molecules. And then at the same time we're trying to not like we're raising money with the crowdfunding in essence, but we're trying to fundraise so that in essence the world can try to collectively have fun together, if you will, and the result and the resolve of that is attempting to be philanthropy and philanthropy energy generation. Like people, when they walk on, there's a certain technology, when people walk down the street, they walk on these steps and then that generates electricity, for example, and that's the kind of philanthropy energy fun and type of games which we want to develop at the same time. So we develop these production molecules that in essence are like parents at like, kid camps that are like fun summer kid camps and such things, and the parents end up just playing the roles of like chaperones in essence to be able to organize and orchestrate fun and interesting games for the kids to play. And the kids are all of us in the world, more or less. We're all the kids and we're all trying to play these games, because in essence all these fun games that nobody as kids got paid for in essence come back to us full circle in the global economy, the global good deeds economy in essence, which is meant to just try to reverberate in a perpetual way forward, to be able to give back to all of us in the future, in the past, present, and the future, if you will. So that's the hope. That's the essence and the hope and the nature of focusing on the crowd fund raising element, if you will, because in essence you've got a couple sides to things. to this process and how to look at things. But if you will, we need to have a collective energy and to be able to have this production molecule process in essence, including like all trade lines, all given e-commerce potential processes and such things. Give us this process to be able to hang out with some winners, and be able to like focus on a winning process for us as a future, as a humanity, as a way to, in essence, trade our time for more energy, more philanthropy energy, and develop escape velocity, and then ultimately have crowd fund. And because the main purpose of a business is to, in essence, develop a customer experience and have residual impact on your customers, your customer experience. That it's not about just making money necessarily. The essence of making a business is to have fun. It's to make fun, more or less. It's to have a fun customer experience, which in essence adds value to people, not only as employees as well, like the producers of these production molecules, if you will, are people that are trying to reverberate the fun. Those are the parents trying to have fun for the kids at camp. Of course, the parents have to reverberate fun in their tone to be able to make the kids want to have fun while playing the games, to try to change the games for the world and change the world for games. So there's a little bit of a slight differentiation of how we try to connect and communicate to all the people in different value in different corresponding values across the land. But the corresponding fundamental main purpose is developing a real estate brokerage and trying to raise the fund. Like, we're all at summer camp. We're all kids at summer camp, basically. We're crowd fundraising, if you will. And all of our production deal producers, in essence, are like film agents, are like agents at the real estate brokerage, if you will, and they're all producers at the same time. So they're producing the films. They're trying to produce, like the parents, developing the fun activities at the summer camps, basically leveraging their essence of the people that they're connected to and the tools that they have connections to and the levers of the vendors that they have to be able to communicate with, like to bring more fun to the kids at the summer camp, basically leveraging all those tools to continue to bring more fun and have a more fun experience in this process of global business, of global life, of developing more awareness through production molecules to try to reach every country. So Think Tech Change for Games studios can try to leverage the brokerage, the real estate brokerage, and then therefore the asset brokerage mindset to be able to bring more fun and awareness through this like vessel of these industries, which are typically less fun in the past, to try to bring more fun, bring more awareness, and bring more philanthropy energy to be able to fundamentally develop the global good deeds economy, yeah. And also therefore transition that into philanthropy energy generation, and then therefore transition that into the global philanthropy energy grid, yeah. The global philanthropy energy grid, yes. And then also, we're always trying to look out for shelter animals. We're always trying to clear the animal shelters. We're always trying to foster all the animal shelter animals. And then we're also trying to adopt all the animal shelter animals so we can clear the animal shelters as always, to be able to help us to have a better world, because we need the love of animals and to be able to look out for and help the animals so that they can help us. And they can be our spiritual guides, and we can hire the shelter animals to be our spiritual healers. That's what we need our shelter animals for. That's all for now. Thanks again. Think Tech Change for Games. Think Tech Change for Games Studios. All right, bye. Peace, bye.